So the minute I heard of what happened in January 7th, I knew I had to go to Israel.
That was the Lizard King. January 7th, was it? He wanted to say January 6th because he cares very, very deeply about the killing of Ashley Babbitt on January 6th. Years ago. No, it was October 7th, Lizard King, not January 7th. But he's got, they called the National Guard out yesterday, but when President Trump recommended the National Guard before January 6th, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer said, no. We're creating a political episode that we'll use for years to come. In the meantime, we're going to be burning your police station and looting all the stores in your neighborhood. It's the Democrat Party. Happy hump day, everybody, and welcome back. We continue to be at 888-630-9625. The Washington Post, again, failed to put the biggest rally on the mall in ages and the most peaceful rally on the mall in ages and the most pro-civilization rally on the mall in ages. Failed to put it on the front page. Where is that? Hey, here's the front page. It's not there. Where's the story? Maybe it's on page 2. No, it's not there. 3? No, it's not on page 3. It's not on page 4. Isn't this amazing? Surely the biggest rally on the mall, hundreds of thousands of people right here in town, in the midst of the war in the Middle East, and with all of the anti-Semitism going on across the country because of Democrats and their Hamas-loving jihad allies, the Democrat Party has joined the jihad. And surely this biggest, most peaceful rally, most positive rally, with no fires, no assaults, no arrests, no flag burning, no, none of that. Surely it's right here. Well, it's not there. It's not on page 5. Where is it? I'm sure it's on. No, it's not on 6 or 7. They got a story about oil and things, and there's the Georgia prosecutor says Trump trial could go into 2025 because she's tampering with the presidential election. She's a radical, an extremist. Fulton County, more people die in her jail. Fannie Willis, but you're supposed to say Fannie, because otherwise you're a racist or something like that. And speaking of racist, where's the story about the peaceful rally on the mall in favor of Israel, our number one ally in that region, the only democracy in that region of the world, the only place where gay people aren't in danger of being hanged from cranes while people chant Allahu Akbar. I'm looking and I'm a-looking, and I'm going through my Washington Post. Wait a darn minute. Gosh, they got a 2-state solution would be a victory for our common humanity story. What's that? And then the jihadis would use that second state to destroy Israel and kill everybody in it. They've already got a state. It's called Gaza. It's 141 square miles. It's got more than 25 miles of waterfront, and they used it to launch attacks to kill the Jews. That's the thing. That's the thing about them. Just amazing. And nowhere in the A-sectional. They have the A-sectional of the Washington Post. Not even there. Not even a story in the A section of the Washington Post about this 300,000 person rally on the mall. Entirely peaceful, thanking police officers, praising Western civilization, supporting our ally, supporting the United States of America. And boy, oh boy. I'm telling you, that's your Democrat Party, and it's not there. It is in the Metro sectional. They have the A sectional and the Metro sectional, and then the C sectional. It's the Caesarean sectional, and the Metro section has a story. Now, if you go to, but that's not the A section of the newspaper. It's just propaganda. It's just left-wing propaganda. It's the Washington Post. They're not on our side. The Washington Times, on the other hand, on the front page of the Washington Times, they've got talking with Biden, preparing for war. The Chinese president's diplomacy seems to be a tactic to forestall U.S. pressure. And they got Joe Biden just sucking up to the communists. But below that, they've got a big color picture in the middle of the front page above the fold, marching with Israel. there it is with the giant crowd and the Washington Monument and the old castle from the Smithsonian over on the left. Tens of thousands of people. Nay, the latest number is 290,000 people, and I think that's probably a pretty good estimate. Tens of thousands of people from all parts of the country gathered on the National Mall on Tuesday to support Israel. Imagine that. Call for Hamas to release all its hostages. The Democrats aren't doing that, and the violent mobs the Democrats are putting on the street and putting on college campuses aren't doing that, are they? No, they aren't. Mounting anti-Semitism being combated on the Mall in Washington, D.C., and the Washington Times knows what the news is, and they cover it. The Washington Post is another story altogether. Yeah, in the meantime, so many amazing stories. And I do want to share with you this amazing collection of left-wing, radical, fake news organizations that are putting out propaganda, as they so often do. And again, my friend Tom sent me the Donald Trump use of the word vermin draws more comparisons to Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini. That's USA Today's headline. And it's almost impossible to believe what propaganda outlets these are for the Democrat Party. By the way, Hitler's party was called the Socialist Workers' Party, and Benito Mussolini was a leader in the Socialist Party before he jumped on the fascist bandwagon. And remember, he defined fascism as a merger of state and corporate power, which is what we see with the Democrat Party and the media today. Not that anybody's paying attention to anything, anywhere anymore. So I decided to look up the word vermin in German. I could write a poem based on, I could do a rap song, I think, the German vermin. And that's, but wait till you hear this story, because it's almost impossible to believe, even in today's media environment, that they're making this ridiculous connection as their shock troops are goose-stepping through our cities and across our college campuses, calling for the extermination of the state of Israel from the river to the sea, but no comparisons to Hitler for them at USA Today or at Axios or at Reuters or at all the other places that are making this comparison. Trump echoes Nazis with use of word vermin. Is vermin the German word for vermin? No, it's not. This is fascist propaganda by this clown car of anti-journalists that win Lucite blocks and golden statuettes for their corrupt work on behalf of the international left. But I want to get into that after a bit. In the meantime, I have not actually gone to a telephone call yet, and I see that on the line we have our friend Rami, who had called in about a week ago, and I ran out the clock on myself, and I felt bad about that. And I know that I had a couple of questions for Rami. But Rami, calling from Rockville, Maryland, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, Chris. I wish all Americans would be as wise and knowledgeable as you are.
So do I.
I was on the mall yesterday. It was a very peaceful rally, positive energy, and support for Israel, for the hostages, and fighting anti-Semitism. Parents of 3 American hostages spoke of their pain, anguish, and sleepless nights for 40 sleepless nights.
Yeah. Yes, I know. Now, tell me, where are you from originally?
Okay, I am an American-Israeli citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Iraq. Our community in Iraq was persecuted in Iraq, and we moved to Israel as refugees.
Uh-huh.
I grew up in the free democratic country of Israel, and I'm a veteran of the IDF.
And you're a veteran of the IDF. Very good. All right. Well, tell me, what do you think? What do you make of everything that's going on college campuses and in the streets, and attacking the White House and the fake blood with the red paint and the handprints, and This is, I'm guessing you don't vote Democrat, Rami. I'm just a wild stab at that. But what do you make of what's going on college campuses? It's a form of terrorism, isn't it? It's cultural terrorism, isn't it?
It's total cultural terrorism, terrorizing Jewish students, Jewish people scared. Right here in Rockville, there were swastika painted on cars of Israeli Jewish Americans. There were, the doorposts. Something is called a mezuzah that
sure.
Jewish people put on their doorposts.
Of course.
They were yanked out of the doors at night. And I have to tell you, this is being financed by different very left-wing organizations, including, I bet you, all these Palestinian student organizations are financed by Qatar. Qatar is a major force in promoting all this Islamic terrorism.
Yeah.
Qatar is harboring war criminals, supporting terrorist organizations, radical members of Congress like Ilhan Omar and others.
Right.
I'm really wondering, why aren't Hamas leaders on the FBI most wanted list?
Well, why aren't the leaders of these student groups in the United States? We know they're investigating Catholics and parents who go to school board meetings because their children are assaulted, and I don't see the FBI anywhere around any of this obviously anti-Semitic, genocidal anti-Semitic movement and you said the left, and it is. Look, this is the mainstream of the Democratic Party, too. I know they'll lie about it and they'll deny it, and a lot of them will, literally not believe what's really going on and what's going on around them. But, Rami, you see what's going on, and look, this is what happened. You've been here for a while. What happened to the Democratic Party?
It just kept going, from what Kennedy said in the 1960s. Ask what you can do for your country instead of asking what your country can do for you.
Right.
Everybody's looking for just, what can you do for me? Free, free, free. Give me, give me, give me.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to stand for themselves and be proud of their work, their productivity, their building their family here, and educating their family on good values. Yeah.
Well, they don't believe
American.
They don't believe in American values, do they? They don't believe in American values anymore. The Democrat Party doesn't. They hold American values in contempt. They undermine American values in schools, grammar school, and on college campuses and in high school. In fact, Rami, if you were listening yesterday, a Montgomery County school teacher, and you're in Montgomery County, preaching the gospel of Hamas and claiming that Israelis are kidnapping children and harvesting their organs and selling them, no less, and that the attack on the concert with the paragliders never happened. And she's a school teacher in Montgomery County. And you're right that they reject American values and really Western values by extension. You're right that they reject capitalism and embrace socialism instead. And now what's really freaky is that they have saddled up with Hamas instead of Israel. And I got to tell you, if you're an American Jew and I'm a Democrat, I'm a good Democrat. Oh, I was on the Mole and I was a Democrat. Then you need to wake up because you're not paying attention. You don't know what's going on. And listen, Rami, I appreciate your calling in.
I have one more small thing to say.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead. You bet.
The Israeli military confirmed last night that incubators, baby food, and medical supplies were delivered by Israeli tanks to the Shifa hospital.
Right.
Can you name one military that has done something like that in war history?
That is an excellent point, and they have. And Hamas, of course, denied the Israelis' help. They turned down the Israelis' help because they'd rather have dead babies. It's better PR for them And then the New York Times and the Washington Post pick it up from there, and CNN. Rami, thank you for the call. God bless. I hope to see you out and about someday. Around the neighborhood, I certainly hope you'll say hello. And God bless America, and God bless Israel. Hey, it's Chris Plant. Excited to tell you about our July 2024 Listener Sea Cruise. We'll be sailing around the British Isles, visiting Scotland and Ireland. Please join us. Visit chrisplantcruise.com. All right. Donald Trump used the word vermin. Hey, let's start listing all the words Democrats use to describe their next-door neighbors. But Trump is Hitler, while the Democrats are goose-stepping in our streets, attacking Jews. No sense of irony, once again. Am I right? I observed that many years ago, and it continues to be true to this day. Let's go to another telephone call, Michael, and let's go to Jay calling from Lake Ridge, Virginia. Jay, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Good morning, Chris.
Hey.
I wondered if you touched on the Washington Times article about the FBI and targeting military people within its organization, of course, Christians and so on, within its own organization itself.
Right. That's the Kerry Pickett story, the great Kerry Pickett at the Washington Times. Had the story a couple of days ago, FBI accused of targeting Trump types, agents who served in military deemed disloyal. The FBI has lost its ever-loving mind, and Kerry Pickett is reporting the story. More whistleblowers have stepped forward to tell Congress that high-ranking FBI officials are targeting agents, specifically former members of the United States military, for their political beliefs and trying to force them out of the Bureau. A Marine and other military veterans at the FBI have been accused of disloyalty. Und you be disloyal to the United States because they fit a profile of supporters of President Donald Trump, according to 2 disclosures sent to lawmakers on the House Judiciary Committee. The Washington Times obtained copies of the disclosures. And Kerry Pickett is a rock-solid reporter, and there are whistleblowers, and the documents have been handed to Congress, and the Washington Post could care less. Keep in mind, Jay, that the FBI is targeting, as I just mentioned, Catholics. And you remember, Jay, also the IRS targeted organizations with the word patriot in the organization,
yes,
or
sir.
God forbid, Tea Party. Jay, maybe you're beginning to think that the government's not on our side?
Yes, sir. As a former employee, it's a disgrace.
It is a disgrace. It's a great disgrace. And our media is too. Now, the Democrat Party is out there. They've created an anti-Semite wave in the United States of America. And today is mailbag day, and I have my mailbag questions right here. I'm going to get to them in the next hour, not in this hour, but in the next hour. But man, I got Joe Biden for you today. He continues to be dumb. But the Democrats are out there. They got the anti-Semitism like this has never been seen, I don't think, in the history of the United States of America on such a scale. And it's really got a lot of traction on college campuses in Washington and New York, the Ivy League, the Poison Ivy League at Harvard, at the University of Pennsylvania, at Yale, out in the streets, accusing, ironically, Israel of committing genocide against their neighbors on the Gaza Strip, who are, of course, terrorists. All their leadership, well, not every person. Oh, shut up. Not every German was a Nazi, but, we decided to lump them in with one another when we were flying waves of bombers overhead. Just saying. But the Democrats love to call everybody terrible names. And I laughed out loud today at a CNN story. CNN published a story that is just absurd and laughable. And again, it's kind of the no sense of irony thing. CNN's headline, how anti-Semitic hate groups are using AI, artificial intelligence. And I think Kamala Harris is our AI czar, isn't she? It must be her fault. How anti-Semitic hate groups are using artificial intelligence in wake of Hamas attacks. Now, listen to this. The whole story is this. It's quite amazing. By 3 typists at CNN. Hate groups and far-right internet trolls have seized on the tension surrounding the Israel-Hamas war while leveraging advances in artificial intelligence to further stoke anti-Semitism in the United States. Really? The far right? Has anybody heard from any of them anywhere? Because I've been witnessing huge parades of Democrat jihadis slapping red paint handprints on the front of the White House, terrorizing Jewish people on campuses who are being told to hide their Star of David necklace or ring or whatever. Conceal your Judaism. For God's sake, don't wear a yarmulke anywhere. Shelter in place in New York while the Hamas Democrats are rioting in the streets. Never mind all that. That's not the story. The story is apparently far-right groups somewhere on the internet are using artificial intelligence. That's the CNN lead here. The confluence of the conflict and the rapid development and sheer accessibility of AI tools have allowed anti-Semitic groups to weaponize the technology. You mean like all these pro-Hamas groups with the Palestinian flags and the throngs of people in the streets and the violence and the burning the Israeli flags and all the Democrats? Is that what you're talking about? Creating images and audio that are used to harass the Jewish community, like on college campuses at Yale and Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania, according to experts who track online extremism. Now, this is quite amazing because they got some guy named Ben Decker, who's the CEO of Memetica, and they say it's a threat analysis group. We've seen a real concerning ideological convergence between far-right communities online and pro-Hamas sentiment. I have seen no evidence of that, yet there are tsunamis of left-wing groups, and all of these campuses are left-wing bastions. And it's just the whole story here is about right-wingers and anti-Semitic. You guys, where are all the stories about people at Harvard having to hide their Judaism, and at the University of Pennsylvania, the projections of from the river to the sea, and the Democrat members of Congress that are in good standing with Hamas and the Democrat Party. They've bridged the gap, if there was a gap. So I found that story to be laughable on its face, just completely absurd, absolutely extraordinary, and we'll get, because there's more with the Washington Post and some other lunatics. But let me share with you this amazing Donald Trump story, because this is laugh out loud funny too. The USA Today headline, and it's just one of many headlines. The Reuters news agency is carrying this water. The lots and lots of Democrat Party outlets, but that kind of goes without saying, have jumped on the bandwagon here. And USA Today, Donald Trump's use of the word, quote, vermin, end quote, draws more comparisons to Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini. USA Today, the headline from Reuters, Biden says Trump echoed Nazis with use of word vermin. These are all Biden voters that are tearing mezuzahs off of doors and threatening mobs on left-wing college campuses and trashing the White House with their red paint and their handprints, burning Israeli flags. All of them are Biden voters and Hillary voters and Obama voters and self-described liberals, again, ironically. The headline after headline after headline, South Carolina Morning News, Trump echoed Nazis with use of word vermin. So, they prefer varmint. I prefer varmint as well. Biden campaign says Trump echoes Hitler with use of word vermin. That's Reuters. Axios, Trump campaign defends vermin speech amid fascist comparisons. And USA Today, Donald Trump is drawing more comparisons, I love that, like it happens all the time, to Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini this time, who both of them socialist workers' parties, but with the latest description of his political opponents as vermin. He called them vermin. Trump used the term at least twice this past weekend, reminding many of how dictators like Germany's Hitler and Italy's Mussolini compared their enemies to rodents during the rise to power in the 1920s and 1930s. Dehumanizing groups of people to encourage followers to collaborate with or tolerate state persecution is exactly what authoritarians do. Yeah, they also use the FBI and the Justice Department against their political enemies and try to put them in jail. But never mind that. And then I did something crazy. I looked up the German word for vermin, and the German word for vermin is Ungeziefer. Ungeziefer, all right? Ungeziefer is the German word for vermin, but when you translate the word Ungeziefer, it doesn't mean the same thing as vermin in English. It means pests or insects. Ungeziefer, pests or insects, see? But he didn't use Ungeziefer, did he? No, he used the English word vermin. And that is enough to get you from all of the news media. Oh my God, it's Hitler all over again. Ironically, while they're trashing college campuses with chants of from the river to the sea, and Jews are going into hiding because Democrats have become such a threat, and their mobs on the street, and their professors and their teachers. And again, I shared with you the story yesterday of a Montgomery County, Maryland teacher who self-describes as a liberal, who is saying that the paraglider attack on the concert in Israel on October 7th, not January 7th, as Chuck Schumer would say, didn't happen. It was all fabricated by the sinister Jews who are making up propaganda. So, I think Trump should come out and use Ungeziefer in his next speech, just to really get him going. And he might, too, just for laughs. But that's what the Democrats are peddling on the news media, USA Today and Axios and Reuters and, various morning newspapers, even the South Carolina Morning News run by liberals. It's very scary. He said vermin. And we can't have that because Hitler used the word Ungeziefer, and that's too much like vermin or something like that. Just amazing. When you translate it into English, then it's similar to a word, but not quite the same. Just amazing. In English, however, if you go to an English language dictionary, the word vermin means a small, common, harmful, or objectionable animal. See, that's the thing. Birds and mammals that prey on game, vermin. Animals that are at a particular time and place and compete with humans for domestic animals. Or the second description, an offensive person. See, so when Donald Trump uses the word vermin, he's using an offensive person, the number 2 definition at Merriam-Webster, as opposed to Ungeziefer, which means pests or insects, which apparently, according to USA Today, Adolf Hitler used to use when he was the head of the Socialist Workers' Party of Germany. Just saying. Just amazing. These people. They are truly something. Now, who are the Nazis today? There were left-wing mobs outside of the mall yesterday. Not many people, but a few. And they were Biden voters threatening the pro-Israel people. The Biden voters trashed the front of the White House the other day. The Biden voters make college campuses too dangerous for Jews to wear a Star of David necklace. The Biden voters. Amazing. All right, speaking of Biden voters, let's go to soundbite number 16. Let's go to number 16. Because Biden had a gathering with the NBA championship. I apologize. You're correct. The NHL, the National Hockey League champions from Las Vegas, Nevada, the Golden Knights,
who we beat last night,
who the Capitals defeated last night, vanquished last night here in Washington, and that's fun. It was a good day all around in Washington. Although some Democrats did shoot and kill people. They shot a couple of people at the Target on 14th Street because Democrats love shooting people. But never mind that. Here's Joe Biden with the, NHL, National Hockey League Golden Knights, named themselves after the U.S. Army skydiving team. And Joe Biden was greeting them, and he had a little bit of a misstep again.
The 2023 Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights.
The Stanley's Cup.
President Harris there to make sure we do this the right way.
And now he mumbles and his lips get in his way. President Harris is here to make sure we do this the right way. President Harris, it's not the first time. Remember March 18th of 2021, Joe Biden introducing Kamala Harris?
Now, when President Harris and I took...
President Harris and I took, and you may remember December 17th of 2021.
But all kidding aside, of course, President Harris is a proud Howard alum.
That's right. President Harris is a proud Howard University alum, and that's good. They had to lock down that campus recently and get a lot more security because Democrats are so dangerous. January 11th of 2022, Joe Biden.
Last week, President Harris and I.
He doesn't know that he's the president, does he? It's very sad. Bless his heart. You may remember May 13th of 2022, Joe Biden introducing Kamala Harris.
And that's why I asked President Harris to travel to the region.
That's right. President Harris is going to go to the region. And January 5th of this year of 2023.
Well, President Harris led this effort.
He really doesn't know who the president of the United States is, and that's kind of weird because it's him. And she's always standing next to him when he's introducing her, and he doesn't know what her job title is. Just amazing.
Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort.
The Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort. This is a man who is not up to the job of being president of the United States. Even David Axelrod knows that. And they're squirting out stories through their bootlicks in the news media all over the place. Joe Biden can't campaign at the same time as being president. In fact, he can't even be president. And he can't campaign. He didn't last time around. Why would we expect him to campaign this time around when he's 4 years older and dimmer of wit? He's quite dim of wit. He is. Just amazing. Now, he's meeting with the communists today in the Potemkin village known as San Francisco. He's going to beg and plead, and they're going to say, hey, shut up. We gave your family millions of dollars. Now, here's what we want from you. In the next hour, it's Mailbag Day. And also Capitol Hill, a lot of fun on, not quite punches thrown, but almost. And one Republican senator who you probably shouldn't pick a fight with, and this gangster Teamsters leader, who's a Democrat, picked a fight with Republican senator from Oklahoma, and it was a bad idea, but it was a fun exchange yesterday. So look forward to that in the next hour, and the mailbag in the next hour as well. And mayhem in D.C. because Democrats. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Barry calling from Fredericksburg. Not from Fredericksburg, from Frederick, Maryland. Barry, you're on the Chris Plant Show. Hey, Barry.
Hey, so Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka, is Jewish. She's married to a Jewish man. They have Jewish children. So Donald Trump's grandchildren are Jewish. So if Donald Trump is Hitler, he's doing a pretty bad impression. I'm pretty sure if Hitler had a daughter, he wouldn't let her marry a Jewish guy. But then again, Hitler was missing der Hoden, which is German for one of the things that dangles in the male bathing suit. So
it's true. He was sans one testicle, which it is believed he lost in World War I. At least that's one of the theories, right?
That's right. And, I guess you and I are probably like Hitler, too, and we have to go to church and ask for forgiveness because, like Hitler, we both convert oxygen to CO2 on a daily basis. Please forgive me. Please forgive me.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It is. Mao Zedong also had one testicle.
Oh, good for him.
Coincidence? Good for him. Apparently he had like one didn't fall, after birth. But Adolf Hitler apparently lost one during World War I. At least that's his story. And he's sticking to it. But you're right. Ivanka married Jared Kushner, who's Jewish. She converted to Judaism. Their children are being raised Jewish. Donald Trump, of course, and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, produced the Abraham Accords and normalizing relations between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, Israel and Bahrain, Israel and Sudan, Israel and Morocco, was on the precipice of normalizing relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia. Israel named a village after Donald Trump. And the Democrats here are rioting in favor of Hamas and against Israel all over the country and on left-wing Democrat-run college campuses. They're pushing the Hamas message, and anti-Semitism has never seen a crest like this, certainly in my lifetime, and I've been paying close attention. And it is the Democrat Party behind it all, Barry. Are you Jewish your own self?
No, I'm not. But I called you a few weeks ago, but I'm a big supporter of Israel. I know Israeli Americans, and I talk to them, and they have family members over there that are in danger now.
Yeah.
So I'm a big supporter of Israel.
You're in danger on college campuses and anywhere where there are a lot of Democrats, including Washington and New York and Los Angeles and beyond. Democrats.